do some of those levers look like? Well, effectively, for government, there's quite a long to-do list. One of the things, and one of the most important things that needs to happen fast, is simply a rapid dismantling of fossil fuels. There's very little negotiation about that if we're to avoid the worst effects of climate change. I think personally, one of the steps we could start to take for that is to ban fossil fuel delegates from COP meetings. At COP27, there were over 300 delegates, which was more than most countries that were there, which is sort of akin to having the tobacco industry at a healthcare conference. It doesn't really seem to fit very well. So that would be a very important first step to take, I think. Another thing that would help strengthen that case would be for governments to simply stop subsidizing fossil fuels. Between the Paris Agreement, the end of 2015, which was lauded as a big sort of event, the world taking climate change seriously, up until 2019, those same governments handed out over $3 trillion in subsidies straight to fossil fuel corporations to artificially lower the price of fossil fuels, including coal, oil, gas, the main ones, to effectively keep them cheap enough so that we keep using them. And if you're hoping that this was something that was sort of pre-COVID, we're sort of over that, we've learned from it. In 2021, 700 billion was given in just that 1 year. So this is very much something which is still alive. I would argue that if governments are hell-bent on giving such large amounts of taxpayer money straight over to other such corporations, I would instead recommend to use that to subsidize renewables. The graph on the right-hand side here, these charts show the different types of renewable energy, from sort of solar, onshore, offshore wind, and you see all of them have started to decrease significantly in price. That grey band at the bottom is the cost of fossil fuels per unit, and that's with subsidies, and these renewables are primarily without. So you can imagine just how cheap they would be if we applied the same subsidies to them.